Leekautorepair, we got 2015 Ford Taurus in here. We're gonna almost say be like a Ford Explorer. We're just gonna leave it at that. So we're worrying about the all-wheel drive system. So there's an issue, the symptoms I'm having, and I'm probably going off a title of the video. So while I driving, right? If you go at like low speeds or make like little light turns or even on turns, always at like low speeds, you feel it more. It's like you hear like clunking or something binding up in the front. So poke my head out the window, I saw like the front wheels like locking up basically. And it was a known issue before. I had replaced the PTU and the rear end on this. So what I'm going to be doing again is replacing the PTU. So in this, it's not going to be like a how-to video walking through every steps. I'll give you a guide. I'll tell you what you need to remove and give you a little information on what it is you can do, because this can be done probably in your driveway most likely, or in your garage. If you got a garage, even better, because you ain't got to be worried about outside interference basically or whatever. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's go. I guess I can talk about some of the things that had got removed. So let me get some proper lighting for y'all because it's a little crappy. So let me get my wrench. Get the wrenches out of here and keep some of these tools out because I like to know. This makes me faster when I'm going back together. So you gotta take this dog bone mount out basically. You got two 10mm nuts that's on. This is shell basically, and then you got, this is 15, I believe. Yeah, 315 nuts, and this adapter right here. Make sure it's like a two-piece setup. The axle needs to come out, which I probably didn't already show y'all, but if you can't get the axle out, you should already know what the axle look like. I don't need to go back and tell you what the axle, but it's one of those axles. It's not hard. Once you take, there is two 13mm nuts, or at least bolts if I give you, or nuts I mean, on this bracket that you'll see there's like a flange for that the axle like mounts to basically. You get the 13mm nuts out, right? You know you need to get your axle nut out of here, which is not a problem, but we need to remove these bolts right here for the knuckle basically. However you want to do it, you want to do lower control arm, you should have fun. It don't even make sense to do that. It's faster just to do the bolts for the like knuckle on the strut basically. Once you get that out, it's a 13mm bolt for this bracket right here, because you're going to need slack in this brake line basically. And you don't want it to like kink up, bend, or whatever it is and leak. So take the 13mm nut out for that bracket. So now you got plenty of room to maneuver the axle out of the knuckle. And I know where am I over here? You guys probably can't even see that good because I'm veering off. But the lighting is like horrible too over here. My fault. There's another bracket that's for, I believe it's for like the PTU or stuff that needs to come out. So it's like various 13mm nuts. I mean bolts. If you count them, it's like 5 on here. And then what else? I did remove the catalytic converter. Now I'll go over once I get everything back together and point out which parts need to come out probably. But imagine if I'm telling you this, you should be able to like identify where these parts are like without like it being complicated. So the O2 sensors, I left them in there, separated from the connector. You might have a problem separating, like getting the connectors like to unhook. You might gotta remove the strut. It's a strut tower, like a bar, strut bar basically. Once you get that strut bar out of there, you'll be able to get your hands in there and finesse this guy out of there. Your gasket's gonna fall out. You can reuse the gasket. Don't worry about if somebody tell you can't reuse it. You can. There's various bolts that's going around here. I believe it's like 6 nuts. I mean, not bolts. 2 of them you can get over here from a swivel, and a 3mm. This is a 6, but you can get with half the size of this, like a 13mm 3/8 socket, right? But you can get in there with like, I got it in with like a Pittsburgh wobble extension, 3-inch extension. That's what I wanted to say, and I was able to get back there and finesse the nuts out from this side, and the rest of them you're gonna have to use like a setup like this where I linked like wobble sockets. Again, I love wobble sockets with a 13 on it, the other end. And the whole thing is wobbly. Like I said, I can get that angle. If you want to put like a swivel on it, that's up to you. But if you got like a deep swivel where you want to use like a 13, which when I say deep swivel, I got this in the 3/8. This is deep enough to what I wanted to do basically, because some of the bolts, well, one of them going to come out together, at least 2 of them will, with the nut and the stud at the same time. So it'd be best to use something deep. That way you get better coverage and stuff. Put this catalytic converter right there. I'm gonna let it drain some more, and then when I get finished letting it drain, the transmission fluid, we're gonna work the T-case out, and then we're gonna finish like talking about this, and I'm gonna give out like more tips or whatever. The axle you can leave on the driver's side. Leave that axle in or whatever. Don't be like me and start breaking down stuff. Just no. Leave everything as is, and that's that. And the exhaust needs to drop down, which is you have like 13mm nuts on it. Heat them up and spray it down with like PB Blaster. If you don't do that, then good luck with like the threads or whatever. Just probably destroying it. End up trying to cut the or put new studs in there and whatever it is. We're gonna have to do some bolt and nut work or whatever. We don't want to get in and all that, so we use heat and penetrant oil or PB Blaster. So let me do what I do, and then we'll pretty much just go from there.
Creo que esto listo. Try it. Put your ass on. I'm just gonna manhandle this thing up because I'm tired. Come on, Ho. Let's go. Literally just gonna man this out, so you can just get out of my way. It's like fucking annoying, and I don't care about transmission fluid at this point. So I'm just gonna lay some paper towel right there. Move, god damn it! All right, let's go. Let's do it. I think I got it. There we go. It helps if I. There we go. And we should be able to. Uh-oh. Be careful. That's part. Get your ass over. Come on, Ho. It's like right there. Hold on. Okay. I think I'm like hung up on something. Let me make sure. What's it? Okay, I'm not hung up on nothing. I just need to twist it. Okay, so let's see if I feel. Hit that. Let's see. Alright, let's do it again. Let's try it. Sometimes you gotta like rotate this out a certain way. It's a pain in the ass, and you notice I'm by myself. Alright, I see where I hung up at. So what I need to do is lift up and turn over this bolt. So we should be able to. Alright, I see the problem. Alright. I can't even keep messing with this motor. Damn. Stop myself from sliding. That took a lot, right? That took a whole lot. I had to get athletic with it. Let's go.
I already basically showed y'all what needs to come out. Catalytic converter. We got the dog bone mount. The passenger side axle. You can leave the driver side axle in. Getting the exhaust manifold. I already broke that down pretty much on how to get that out. So once you got your extension set up, you're gonna be Gucci. It's just that the other two bolts on the driver side, passenger side, take the wheel off. You should be able to finesse that out. You're not gonna be working up from the top except for disconnecting the O2 sensor connector, the upstream one. So get up there, slip it out, get the strut bar out the way that I already listed. I believe if you would do it yourself, you probably be best to get like a helper, only because it's trying to maneuver that out and trying to pull that engine. You saw how I had to thrust the engine forward, the powertrain forward, what my my leg power basically, just to sneak that out because it's like a certain way going in. Now I'm going to use ratchet straps going back in just to thrust the engine, keep the engine thrusted forward, so that way I can rotate it in and it doesn't go straight in. You gotta like rotate it at an angle or whatever, and then like pretty much slip it in, and then we get the other one in. That's Gucci. Time wise, what I believe, if you do a job like this on your own, minimum experience, it'd probably take you like 8 hours, probably go longer than that. I don't know, 2 days. I don't know how you work. If you got experience, this is B-level type work. Most of you probably just got to deal with like certain rust stuff. Just be careful, like the exhaust. Like I said, we do the wild pipe, and it's like a total of 4 bolts, 2 per flange. Once you get that, slide that over, because these exhausts are designed to like be like very like flexible pretty much. So slide it over. What else? If you're like a B level, you could do it yourself. Like I might obviously at like a higher level, and it wasn't like I didn't get like stuck on anything. Maybe the bracket was like a pain in the ass, but you should be having like decent tools to use. When I say decent tools, you need like swivel sockets. You're gonna need a couple of these, like a 13 millimeter. This is a 3/8 drive, but 13 millimeter, 15 millimeter, 10. It's probably really what you're gonna be working with the whole time with these. Half-inch sockets you're probably gonna need deep, like 14 or 13 or something like that, and a 15. At some point you're gonna be using that just for like the differential itself. I'm sorry, the PTU. If you got experience, it could take you probably just only like a few hours to knock out. That's that. I don't, like I said, it could cross over for like Ford Explorers, like the Flexes or whatever. Excuse me, like gas build up on my chest. I'm not sure if they're like crossover. I could be wrong, could be right, whatever. But I believe it's PTU, one for like an Explorer as well. Getting it out, it should be similar. This is all-wheel drive, so if this is Ford, however it is they do it. I've done a couple of these before in the past. It's just that sometimes you'd be like, dang, it's been a while since I've done a job like this or whatever, but it is what it is. It's routine for me. Get it done. So if you got experience, there's no way you should be getting stuck on it. If you don't have experience, do not attempt to try to do this. You can't even get the tire off. I always recommend, can't get the tire off. Don't be trying to do no goddamn job like this, because you're going to play yourself. That even if you did get the PTU out, what if it fall on your face? What if you get transmission fluid in your eye? What if you get rust in your eye or something like that? I remember one time cutting exhaust and stuff, I had to get like, hey, piece of metal in here and 3 on the other side, and I had to get that picked out basically at an eye specialist. You don't want that. You gotta be careful. You'll hurt yourself. So other stuff will fall on you. Anything. The exhaust wild pipe dropping. The catalytic converter trying to slip that out. And you won't be able to get the catalytic converter out until you get the bracket for it's like it's like two brackets you got to get out. One of them is for the drive shaft itself. I'm sorry, the axle, the passenger side axle. And then you got the other bracket, I think, that acts as like an extra support for the PTU. Could be wrong, but that bracket was like literally around it. So I got that off. Bam, cool. Make sure you get the correct amount of fluid. All that I need to tell you that because I'm not your teacher. The only thing is I'm walking you through this job. It's just a guide. It's not a how-to. So hopefully this video will be like 10 minutes long. I don't know where we at, like 5 minutes. I don't want to keep like rambling or whatever. If you guys got like questions, comments, concerns and stuff, please leave it in the comment section. If car stuff, always car stuff. Whether if you need help, put it in the comment section because if I don't see it, somebody else might reply to it. And then y'all can just help each other out, basically. That's what the community is for. I'm not going to specifically be answering emails because then that turns into like a consultation. And I know y'all don't want to pay for it, but y'all want your car fixed, but y'all don't want to pay for it. You know how many people be like, oh, you send me X, Y, and Z. Money, da 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 da. Very few people like send me cash app. I got like random cash apps before, like tips and stuff. But if you tell me I saved you money, basically, hey, you know, that's just like common sense to like tip, basically. I didn't have to give out this information. Don't value my information if you didn't put value in it. I don't care if you watched it. Just if I'm supporting y'all know how that go. Leekautorepair, business stuff, business inquiries. If you need me for like jobs and stuff. I do work mobile, state of Pennsylvania. If you guys need me, whatever, we'll figure it out. Get there. Leekautorepair@gmail.com, and I'll do my best to get back at you. If you're gonna waste my time, I can sniff that out in email. So you go ahead and try to play me if you want. That's just it. Leekautorepair. Holla at y'all.